Have you ever eaten something without realizing that every single bite carries hundreds of years of history? Imagine walking down a busy street, spotting a giant tower of sizzling meat slowly spinning in front of glowing heat, watching the outer layer turn perfectly crispy before being sliced into thin, juicy pieces and stuffed inside warm bread with fresh vegetables and creamy sauces. For millions of people around the world, that's simply lunch. But behind this famous street food lies one of the most fascinating stories in culinary history. It's a story involving empires, migration, culture, innovation, identity, and even international politics. Today we're talking about the legendary Döner Kebab. Most people think they know where the doner comes from. Some immediately say Turkey. Others confidently claim Germany because that's where they first tasted it. Surprisingly, both answers contain part of the truth, which is exactly why the debate has continued for decades. The story begins long before modern Germany even existed, during the days of the Ottoman Empire, one of history's most influential empires. The word döner itself comes from the Turkish word dönmek, meaning to turn or to rotate. That simple word perfectly describes the cooking technique that makes the dish so recognizable. The rotating spit isn't just for show. As the meat slowly turns, its own juices continually baste the layers underneath, creating an incredibly flavorful result, while the outside develops a delicious crust. Interestingly, the earliest ancestors of the doner weren't cooked vertically at all. Historical artwork from Istanbul dating back to the early 1600s shows meat roasting on horizontal spits, especially during outdoor gatherings and celebrations. At that time, people already understood that slowly roasting large cuts of meat over fire created incredible flavor. However, the vertical cooking method that defines today's doner appears to have emerged during the 19th century. Historians continue to debate exactly who deserves the credit. Some point to Hamdi Usta from Kastamonu around the 1830s, while many others credit Iskender Efendi from Bursa, who popularized the technique during the 1850s. In fact, the famous Iskender Kebab still bears his name and remains one of Turkey's most celebrated dishes. Instead of being served inside bread, it comes over soft-pied bread with tomato sauce, melted butter, and yogurt, creating an entirely different dining experience from the street food version most people know today. Here's something many people don't realize. The vertical spit wasn't invented simply because it looked impressive. It also solved practical problems inside busy restaurants. A vertical rotisserie took up less floor space than long horizontal spits, allowed fat to drip naturally away from the meat, and made slicing fresh portions much easier throughout the day. Sometimes history's greatest inventions come from solving everyday problems rather than trying to create something revolutionary. Fast forward to the 1960s, and history takes an unexpected turn. After the Second World War, West Germany experienced an enormous economic boom. Factories desperately needed workers, so the country invited hundreds of thousands of foreign laborers through the Gastarbeiter, or guest worker, program. Nearly 1 million Turkish workers eventually made Germany their temporary, and often permanent, home. They brought much more than their labor. They brought language, traditions, music, family values, and, perhaps most deliciously, food. Many of those immigrants opened restaurants and food stands. At first, they mainly served fellow Turkish workers who missed the familiar tastes of home. But something remarkable happened. German customers became curious. They wanted to try these new flavors. Instead of simply serving traditional Turkish dishes exactly as they had always been prepared, entrepreneurs began adapting them to fit busy city life and local tastes. This is where one of the biggest legends in food history appears. According to the most widely told story, a Turkish immigrant named Kadir Nurman began selling sliced doner meat inside bread with fresh salad near Berlin Zoo Station in 1972. Whether he was truly the very first person to do this remains debated by historians, because several others have made similar claims. Nevertheless, Nurman became closely associated with creating what we now recognize as the modern doner sandwich. His idea was brilliantly simple. Instead of serving meat on a plate that required customers to sit down, he turned it into portable fast food for commuters rushing between trains and work. That single adaptation completely changed the future of the dish. Berlin didn't merely copy Turkish cuisine. It reinvented it. Traditional Turkish döner often focuses heavily on the meat itself, with relatively simple accompaniments. The Berlin version became much more colorful. Fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, red cabbage, cucumbers, pickles, herbs, garlic sauce, yogurt sauce, spicy sauce, cocktail sauce, and sometimes even cheese became common additions. The sandwich grew larger, fresher, and more customized. Every shop developed its own signature sauces and spice blends, creating fierce competition for loyal customers. Today, Germany has tens of thousands of kebab shops. Some estimates place the number at around 40,000. In many cities, it's almost impossible to walk far without seeing a rotating spit behind a shop window. For many Germans, grabbing a doner after school, after work, or after a late-night party has become as normal as eating pizza or burgers. In fact, surveys over the years have frequently ranked the doner among Germany's favorite fast foods, even competing with classic German snacks that have existed for generations. Here's a fascinating detail that many people never notice. Walk into 10 different doner shops, and you may find 10 completely different recipes. Some use lamb, others use beef, others use veal, and many use chicken or turkey. The seasoning varies enormously. Even the bread changes depending on the region. That's one reason the debate over authenticity has become so intense. What exactly qualifies as a real doner? Is authenticity determined by where it originated, how it's prepared, or how people actually eat it today? That question eventually reached the political stage. Turkey sought special recognition within the European Union to define traditional standards for the Döner Kebab under the Traditional Specialty Guaranteed System. Supporters argued this would help preserve culinary heritage and prevent traditional recipes from disappearing. Critics, especially in Germany, worried that strict rules could affect businesses that had spent decades developing their own successful versions. The debate became surprisingly emotional because it wasn't only about meat. It became a conversation about identity, immigration, cultural ownership, and how traditions naturally evolve when people move across borders. Discussions between Turkey, Germany, and the European Union attracted worldwide media attention, proving that food can become far more political than most people expect. One of the biggest misconceptions about the doner is that it's automatically unhealthy. The truth depends almost entirely on how it's prepared. The meat itself provides an excellent source of protein, iron, vitamin B12, zinc, and other important nutrients. Fresh vegetables contribute fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, and texture. Problems arise when portions become extremely large or when sauces high in fat and salt are added generously. Like many foods, moderation matters more than the dish itself. A freshly prepared doner filled with vegetables can be far more balanced than many people assume. However, not every doner is created equally. Investigations in several countries have found that some lower-quality producers use processed meat mixtures containing fillers, starches, soy protein, or lower-grade cuts instead of whole slices of premium meat. That's why experienced food lovers often recommend choosing busy shops where fresh meat is prepared regularly and customer turnover remains high. A popular shop usually indicates freshness because the rotating spit is constantly being sliced rather than sitting for hours. Another little-known fact is just how influential the doner has become worldwide. This cooking method inspired countless variations across different countries. The Greek gyro, the Arab shawarma, and Mexico's tacos al pastor all share historical connections through vertical spit cooking. In fact, tacos al pastor have an especially fascinating origin. Lebanese immigrants introduced vertical spit cooking to Mexico, where local cooks combined the technique with indigenous ingredients and pork, eventually creating one of Mexico's most beloved street foods. It's amazing to think that one cooking method traveled across continents and inspired completely new national dishes. The cultural importance of the döner goes far beyond food. For many Turkish families living in Germany, owning a kebab shop represented opportunity, entrepreneurship, and economic independence. Countless immigrant families worked incredibly long hours building businesses that eventually supported future generations. Children who grew up helping their parents in kebab shops later became doctors, engineers, lawyers, teachers, and business owners. In many ways, the döner became a symbol of successful integration while allowing communities to preserve an important connection to their cultural heritage. Perhaps that's why people become so passionate whenever the question of ownership arises. Food isn't simply about ingredients. It carries memories, identity, family history, and belonging. When someone says, "The döner belongs to us," they're often expressing something much deeper than a recipe. They're talking about generations of history and personal experience. The next time you order a döner, take a moment to appreciate everything happening in that single sandwich. The rotating spit reflects centuries of culinary innovation stretching back to the Ottoman Empire. The fresh vegetables tell the story of adaptation in modern Germany. Every slice of meat represents generations of immigrants who carried traditions across borders while creating something entirely new. Few street foods can claim to symbolize so many chapters of world history at once. And maybe that's the greatest lesson hidden inside this famous meal. Cultures don't remain frozen forever. They travel with people. They adapt. They borrow ideas. They inspire entirely new traditions without erasing the old ones. The döner isn't successful because one country won and another lost. It's successful because millions of people embraced it, improved it in their own ways, and made it part of their everyday lives. So whether your favorite version comes from a tiny neighborhood shop in Istanbul, a bustling corner of Berlin, or a local restaurant somewhere else in the world, you're eating much more than grilled meat wrapped in bread. You're enjoying centuries of history, the legacy of migration, remarkable culinary creativity, and one of the greatest examples of how food has the power to connect people across cultures. That's an incredible story for something many of us simply call lunch. The next time someone asks where the döner really comes from, you'll know the answer is far richer, far more complicated, and far more interesting than most people ever imagine.